Well, hi, hello, how are you? Come right in. We're not gonna waste no time. All right. I know if you are new to my channel or if you're here all the time, if you look at my title and it says Team Natural, it's like, oh, Sin's attacking. No, I'm not. My hair is naturally curly too. Even though you see my hair straight, most of the time, well, all of the time, this is how my hair looks when it's wet. This is how it's always looked when it's wet. I don't plan on relaxing my hair or anything like that. When it comes to hair care, there is no such thing as a curly specialist or a team natural specialist. Hair is hair, and regardless of the color of your skin, as long as you sit down and really focus on the science of the human body, you can master hair. This is my daughter's hair. She gets her hair blown out and straightened by her request every week. As you can see, my daughter has no heat damage whatsoever. Her curls are beautiful. They pop right back. There is no such thing as a team natural specialist. I repeat, there is no such thing as a team natural specialist. This is something that people made up, and I've talked about this for years. At the very beginning, right now, I'm just letting you guys see my hair, so when all the chitter chatter pops up, you guys can know that it is a myth. It is not true. At this point, my hair has been straightened. The video that you saw my hair straightened in, the video link is going to be in the description box below. But this is how my hair looks after I wash it, right? And shampoo it, my bad, after I shampoo my hair. And so now it just takes a little minute, but the curls pop right back, right? When we're talking about bonds in the hair, the hydrogen bond, the disulfide bond, and all of the different bonds that I tell you about, when you first wet your hair and break that hydrogen bond, it may take a second, right? So this is about, let's say 5 minutes later, 5 to 10 minutes later, after I detangle my hair. As you can see, it's even tighter. There is not one drop of heat damage on my head, not one. And the reason that I brought this up is because you guys cut out blow dryers, flat irons, combs, and brushes because the Team Natural community told you over a decade ago that it was wrong. And when people like me try to come out there and say something about it, just like, oh, she don't like curly hair and this and that. No, I don't like BS, and y'all been spreading a whole bunch of BS, and it's all about to come out right now in 2025, and I've been telling y'all that it's gonna happen, but now y'all about to see it with your own eyeballs. Yeah, let's get into it. So I was not searching the world's internet looking for this video. Within the 7-day challenge, we have a group, and within the Growth Cycle Blueprint, we have a group, and we are a family. And so within the family, somebody was like, hey, Sin, look at this. And so you guys can clearly see what her post said. Now, I need every team naturalist that is watching this video that has something to say. Sindal is not out lurking, looking to see when she can make a video about y'all. No, the women that y'all have been teaching, I'm doing the quotation marks with my fingers, the women that y'all have been leading down the team natural path are starting to learn the science, and they can see that y'all are making things up as y'all go. It is not me, it's them. It's time for accountability in 2025. So let's talk about it. But first,
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing.
I'm a licensed cosmetologist and tight curl specialist based in New York City. And in today's video, I want to extend some flowers to some very special individuals. So let's get into it. I'm wearing my hair in what looks like a protective style, I know. My hair was blown out and trimmed for my routine maintenance today, or not today, it's done a couple of days ago. And I want to extend special gratitude, and I want to share my thanks to you because I have been very much involved in the use of a method that I truly believed in. I've cared for my clients' hair truly believing that I was providing the best care for them. And it was over the course of the last, I'd say, 3 weeks that I came to the realization that something needed to change, and it needed to be immediate. And I wish I had known much sooner. And so the reason why I didn't know sooner is not because you weren't saying it, Shelly and Errata and Rosie. It was because I couldn't receive it. And I'm going to explain to you why. Your message was very, very poignant, but I couldn't receive it because as a tight curl specialist who was having a grand time in my salon serving my clients, and my own hair seemed to be fine, I didn't see any reason to believe that there was anything wrong with anything we were doing.
So again, I have been saying this for well over a decade now. You can go back on my channel and watch these women that told you that they're team natural specialists. This is not a field of cosmetology. This is a group of women who are cosmetologists who decided that they're not going to follow what we learned in school. Instead of following what we learned in school, they're going to make up their own rules. They're going to start cutting curly hair wet, which is something that you learn in cosmetology school never to do, because in cosmetology school you learn that you only cut hair when it is stretched. Curly hair is stretched when it is dry and straightened, and straight hair is stretched whenever it's wet. But when the Team Natural thing took off, it also was around the same time that diva cuts came out, and white women were cutting their hair wet so that they can make curls. And because black women were leaving Team Natural, leaving the regular hair salons, instead of most cosmetologists standing 10 toes down like I did, they just switched over and joined Team Natural and opened up these natural hair salons that cut all of y'all's hair wet, that told y'all to throw out leave-in conditioners, all of the things that we learned in cosmetology school. The Team Natural stylists and this whole Team Natural salon movement, they threw away everything that they learned in cosmetology school and joined a cult. And now nobody thinks about the science of hair. They all are just in competition with each other, talking to each other, taking each other's ideas, looking at what other people post, and then making their own. Let's keep going.
I think the first thing that got my attention was the curly cutting, and I've been doing curly cuts for several years, and it wasn't until training with Cut It Kinky that I was even happier with being able to provide the skill of cutting curly hair for my clients. So I was very appreciative to the skill that I learned, through their training. And so to believe that curly hair could cause damage was, something I didn't even fathom. But I did entertain, allowing my clients any option they wanted. They always had the option to have their hair cut straight or curly. It was always their option. And for those who wanted to have their hair assessed, I did that. But I didn't see that there was anything wrong with curly cutting. And if I had a client that I felt like perhaps this client really needs to have their hair cut straight so she can have the best, outcome for her maintenance, I did that. I actually requested that of my client. And that was because of, individuals like, say, Tammy Moore, who had expressed having a better outcome for her maintenance on her ends because of it.
Pause. I need y'all to understand that this was never about the science of the human body. This was never about real cosmetology ever. It's only been a money grab, and it's only been about vanity metrics. How can I grab some scissors and start cutting on your hair to make your curls look pretty? That's what it's always been about. They completely dismissed using leave-in conditioner, using polymers to protect the hair. They told you that silicones were bad. They told you not to use leave-in conditioners, but to replace it with creams and gels and butters and oils and all of these different things that don't go in the scalp. All of these different things that shouldn't really be used in the hair in general. None of the things that are taught in Team Natural. None of the things that are done in a natural salon are by the book. They're all made up. And you just heard her say, or you're going to hear her say, that anytime she would think of something new, she would go to say something, but then she went online. She never said, I went in a book, I went back in my book, I went and talked to one of my instructors, I went and talked to one of my professors. Never. She was on YouTube. They are all on YouTube, just like y'all are, looking at what the most popular fads are, looking at what the most popular products are. Nobody has ever been focused on the science. And I have literally been saying this for over a decade. But when I say it, I'm attacking. You know why? Because the people that y'all are looking at as professionals, the people that y'all are looking at as the people that are at the top of the mountain that have all of this information, they are literally sitting online watching YouTube videos and then making things up. And then if it sounds good enough, and if there is a good enough picture attached to it, you guys follow it. But over 10 years ago, I told y'all that today would happen, that one day all of y'all favorite Team Natural people will start experiencing hair weathering, and they were not going to blame their methods and techniques. They were going to blame hair products or certain ways that they cut and all of these different things. Now, there are different levels or different versions of accountability that people see, but for me, this level of accountability isn't enough, not for over a decade.
What I want to express to you all is that it's been so very important that you've continued to share your stories, because even though it didn't resonate with me, the fact that it was there, you were able to connect with so many individuals. I didn't get the message until one of my colleagues, Aubrey of One Royal Treatment, started sharing her videos here on YouTube. And even her videos, initially, the urgency just was not there. I didn't see the need to make any changes in my salon because everything seemed to be working just fine. And so when I fast forward and I go out and I have my hair cut, because I've been on a journey of trying to get to my hair inspiration from 2015, when I really loved my shape of my curly hair at that time. And so even though I'd worn my hair, for 10 years, I had retained length all the way down my back curly. It was beautiful. I wanted to get back to this hair inspiration that I had in 2015. So in October of 2024, I got my hair cut. I got significant amount of hair cut curly. I didn't get it blown out because I was just going for shape. And it was several inches.
Now, anytime I speak on things like this, everybody takes it as a personal attack. This is not a personal attack. This is about the science of hair, and this is about the fact that you guys have completely thrown away the science of hair for over a decade. When y'all are out here and y'all like, oh my God, I can't find good cosmetologists, it is because the majority of women picked cosmetologists or hairstylists or Team Natural stylists or whatever you want to call it like this over cosmetologists like me. Because at the end of the day, cosmetologists like me have always been against cosmetologists like this, always. This is the thing that muddied the water. And this is the thing that I have been speaking against forever. And then y'all come over on my channel, oh, Cynthia, this person made a video about you. It doesn't matter. We're not talking about any of that. I don't care about any of those things, because what's done in the dark always comes to the light. And right now, it's time for y'all to be accountable, because at the end of the day, most of the women that are like curly cuts, they play in their own hair, and then they open up salons to come play in yours. And nobody's following the science, and you're really believing that you're going for some made up facts or some real true facts, but in reality this is all just made up. Let's keep going.
I'm trying to get to my hair inspiration. A few weeks after that cut, a few washes later, the ends of my hair were not behaving like ends that had been cut into healthy hair. And I know what it's like when you cut into healthy hair. It's beautiful. Your ends are just beautiful. It wasn't like, with cutting just bare minimum and then they start to come back, your ends are getting old again. No. When you cut into healthy hair, you're supposed to have healthy ends. So that stood out to me. And I reached out to my colleague who had been, posting on YouTube. That's Aubrey of One Real Treatment. And I'm going to link her video in here so you can take a look at what had caught my attention. And I was like, oh, we really, what's the deal with these leave-ins? Because I know she had asked me about leave-ins with my products. And so, I talked with her and I said, oh, so now our hair is going into a decline. Like, we need to get back to leave-in conditioning and deep conditioning, something we weren't doing as a part of the method. And so when I, hold on, I'm losing my train of thought. Please forgive me. After that, videos just kept coming out. You all kept sharing and sharing and sharing. And I wanted to make some adjustments with my salon as it related to leave-in conditioning and deep conditioning, specifically to get the emollients back into our regimen. But before I could even get the information out, more information kept coming out. And the one that hit me the most.
Now, that's enough of that. And if y'all decide that y'all want to go watch the full video on y'all own, then you could go right ahead and do that. There was another video that one of the gurus added within the chat, and it was of someone who was like, why they hate wash and goes. And when I tell you, everybody in the Team Natural community is literally flipping the script without accountability. Everybody is flipping the script and saying, oh no, we're not going to do this anymore, we're going to do this instead. And instead of them saying we were wrong, instead of everybody just coming out and saying we were wrong, we should have never stepped in your lane, we should have stayed in our own lane, we didn't know what we were talking about, we're all running back to cosmetologists to fix our hair because we messed it up and they know how to fix it. Nobody's saying that. And then the cosmetologists that folded, the cosmetologists that said, okay, well, I'm about to join in on the Team Natural stuff, I'm about to open this salon. Like, this is not to this woman personally. I do not know this person. That's why I put the disclaimer in, because I need y'all to understand that YouTube is a public forum. So unless you have your own private network, like the Send Down Network, join, link in the description box, is free. But unless you have your own private platform, you are putting videos up publicly for anybody to look at. People make videos about me all the time. I don't care. I do not mind. What I make videos for, and the reason that I'm using this video for an example, is because I need y'all to see that y'all have been following blindly people who don't know what they're talking about. Y'all get on YouTube and y'all look at all of the newest videos and what got the most views and who's the most current. And you know who else is looking at that? The Team Natural people. Because based on who has the most views, based on what techniques are getting the most traction, that is what they're going to base their everything around. Like Team Natural curly cuts, when they first started, oh my God, cosmetologists like me were losing our shit. We were so upset about these curly cuts. This was over a decade ago. This like 12, 13 years ago. We were like, no, don't do that. Stop. And they're like, you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. We doing this for women who want to wear their hair curly. The women who getting these, they never gonna wear their hair straight, so hair weathering don't matter. There are videos on YouTube right now of people saying I made up the hydrogen bond. Hair weathering isn't real. It's not a real thing. It's made up. It's very true. And the thing about it is, the reason that when people make videos about me, I don't do videos on my channel reacting to videos that they made, because I understand time. And I understand that time handles everything. And I don't say anything out of my mouth that I'm not able to stand behind years from now. Most people get tired of watching my videos. You know why? Because I talk about the same thing. I've been saying the same thing for years, and it won't switch up. It won't. But the people that you guys have went to have made it so there is such a wide spread of yeast and bacteria on the scalp. There is such a wide spread of scalp inflammation over the Black community, and y'all don't know why. There's no other community that has as much follicle disruption as Black women do. And when you sit down, right? When you sit down, because I work directly with cosmetologists, directly. When you sit down and you look at the patterns and the routines of the patient, every last one of y'all was into Team Natural. Every last person that had a curly cut at one point in their life. Puts and packs their scalps full of gels, butters, and oils, and all of that. You also left out leave-in conditioners. So there was, I'm going to say, and this is before I stepped from behind the chair, right? So there was this whole movement of no leave-in conditioners where I was having clients come in, sitting in my chair telling me that because of some YouTubers, they heard you're not supposed to use leave-in conditioner and it really messes up the hair. So can I not use leave-in conditioner in their hair? When you listen to me talk, you're like, why is Sin so passionate? I've been retired from behind the chair for about 7 years now. Okay. The things that y'all deal with right now, I was dealing with 7 years ago. 7 years ago, women were coming in salons arguing with professional cosmetologists about whether or not you should use leave-in conditioner in the hair. 7 years ago, there were Black women coming and sitting in their cosmetologist chair for a trim and trying to argue with me about whether or not their hair should be cut wet or straight. So when we're talking about the water being muddy, when we're talking about the confusion, to me, the majority of the blame goes to the professional cosmetologists that jumped in. Because if professional cosmetologists all stood on business and didn't switch over and stuck with what they actually learned in cosmetology school, this whole disruption, this whole thing that's happening would have never happened, and it would not have went on for so long. Now, a lot of people that watch this video, you may feel away. You may be like, oh, Sin is just randomly going off on people. Da, 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 da. No, I'm not. And this is the thing. I, again, will not comment on any video that anybody makes about me. I won't. Nor will I include myself in discussions that are like, oh, you're wrong, because I don't have to do that. You know why I don't have to do that? I told y'all that what y'all dealing with right now, the videos that y'all are seeing all across YouTube right now, I told y'all were going to be seeing these videos in 2020. Actually, I'm lying. I made that video in like 2017. And then I made another one in 2020. And then I made another prediction video in the early part. It was either the end of December of last year or the beginning of November. One of the two. I'll add both of the links in the description box below so y'all can see it. The passion and the intensity of my voice comes from the fact that I love hair. I loved, with the past tense, the hair industry and standing behind the chair. I thought I was going to do hair professionally until I was about I was going to be one of those old ladies that was like 100 years old that was still like, girl, come sit down, get your pressing, girl, because I loved it that much. There was nothing argumentative about it. But then when the Team Natural shit hit, I'm like, oh my God, this is the upside down. This is the sunken place. But I'm like, it's not going to last that long, because other cosmetologists are going to join in and they're going to be like, this is whack. That didn't happen. Now here we go, 12 years later, and it has went from, oh, Team Natural is something that we're creating so Black women can feel more comfortable in their hair, to now it's this like clicky like thing. Like now it's these clicks, and if you don't straighten it, if you don't do curly hair or curly cuts, or if you don't wear your hair in, its natural state, if you don't wear curls, then you're not proud to be Black and you don't really like to be Black. Or some of y'all favorite people, if you are a professional cosmetologist that decides to stick to the science, who does not decide to exploit women for their curl pattern and their lack of knowledge on how to actually do their hair and evade heat damage and other things of that nature, then you say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and jump in on this. And what happens is the people who decide to say, no, I'm gonna stick to the science, that's wrong. Those are the people that y'all attacked. And guess what else? Those are the people who got tired. That's why the majority of the cosmetology industry now is full of Team Natural stylists. It's full of curly cut specialists, curly specialists. The majority of the industry is full of that. Y'all just saw it with y'all own eyes. They are literally just, you go in, they literally just grab some of your hair with some scissors and cut. You could do that shit at home. Not to mention that curly cut is going to be more expensive than any regular trim that you can ever get. It is the craziest shit I've ever seen in my life. And it's went on for decades. And black women sit on YouTube and watch videos of people attacking cosmetologists like me who choose to stick with the science and stick up for the science of hair. Because at the end of the day, that's all I've ever done. Even if it sounds like I'm being like rude or loud or whatever the case may be, it's because it's annoying. It's because y'all see stuff on surface level, but behind the scenes, as a professional cosmetologist, I know the truth. And as a professional cosmetologist, I have watched the people that y'all put on a pedestal go back and forth over YouTube. They're just over consuming. They just eating everything up, going on everybody's channel. What did she talk about? What did she talk about? Oh, I was going to make that video and I was going to say that, but then I went online and you guys were making so many videos, so I knew that I had to make a video too and then bring it to my salon and bring it to women. And it's like, what are you doing? No, the reason that you go to cosmetology school and the reason that you go to state board and the reason that you post that license up is so your clients all have the comfort in knowing that everybody went to school to learn the basics of cosmetology. The basics. So if nothing else, you know the basics. If nothing else, you know that nothing goes on the scalp but shampoo, and all you're supposed to be doing is putting conditioner on the hair, not the scalp. That leave-in conditioner is mandatory because it is a polymer that protects your hair. The leave-in conditioner is your heat protection for your blow dryer. It's your protection from UV radiation from the sun. It's your protection from environmental pollutions. That's what a leave-in conditioner is for. But instead of that, instead of you spraying one leave-in conditioner to fix all of those problems, they told you, oh no, we don't use leave-in conditioner for the curly girl method. For the curly girl method, we don't use leave-in conditioner for that. For that, we're going to use oil, a butter, and a cream. Oh my God. And then if a professional cosmetologist like me comes and says, no, don't do that, then there are full-fledged hour-long live broadcasts about this professional saying, oh, she's wrong, or she's not a professional natural specialist. She is not a curly hair specialist. So y'all fought so hard to be included, right? You fought so hard to be included, but then you fought each other to be separated amongst yourselves. So we want everybody else, like every other race, is supposed to include us and not judge us and not put us in a box, not say, oh, you black, so you gotta talk like this. Oh, you a black woman, so you gotta walk like this. You black, so twerk. Why you ain't twerking? You black, so why you ain't with a hood boy? You black, so why you, like, we don't like any of that. But for ourselves, though, we can say you black, so you not proud to be a black woman unless you straighten your hair. You black, you only a black stylist, or if you a black girl, she not a natural hair specialist. She don't specialize in curly hair. She don't just isolate it. She's not just isolated to curly hair. She don't know. So then now there are women who decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and straighten my hair. I don't think I want to do wash and goes and things of that nature. And then there are whole blogs about people. Like there are whole blogs, there are whole arguments, like y'all calling each other out of y'all names. Like it is literally the most toxic environment that you ever want to see. And guess what? There's no gatekeeping because the gatekeepers joined in. At the end of the day, gatekeeping is like getting a cosmetology license. Is a version of gatekeeping, right? If we talk about the medical field, you have to go to medical school to cut on somebody's uterus and deliver a baby. That's gatekeeping. Absolutely. And that is a gate that should be kept. Well, the cosmetology license is a form of gatekeeping. And in cosmetology school at State Board, they're under the impression that because you've learned the science, you're not going to go make up anything else that avoids the basics because you learned the basics. The basics is we don't cut curly hair wet. You only cut hair in general when it's stretched, when it's curly hair stretched, when it's blown out and straightened, when it's straight hair stretched, when it's wet. It's very simple. It's very simplistic. But Team Natural taught y'all that you are able to judge hair based on how it visually looks. Like looking at her hair right now, you would say, oh, it's really damaged for the color, or it looks dry and brittle and broken. And guess what? You would be wrong. You would be very wrong. She has breakage from mechanical damage, over manipulation, and wearing ponytails because we hadn't seen each other in a while. And when you have the type of hair color that she has, you have to have a certain practice. You doing Team Natural stuff on color treated hair is literally the worst thing that you can do. And see, what happened is, the majority of the women that started the whole Team Natural thing, they started doing the stuff when they were in their early 20s. And I tell y'all all the time that hair weathering takes anywhere between 5 months to 25 years to set in. When I say set in, I say the term set in for a very specific reason, not to start, but to set in. It's something that happens slowly and gradually, and you won't notice until the bald spot gets big, or you won't notice until you go to straighten your hair out and you can see through it, or you won't notice until it starts to become visually thinner. That's when you notice hair weathering. And across the board, all your Team Natural people have hair weathering. And some of them don't have hair on their hair at all. What the fuck? Some of them don't have hair on their head at all. Not one drop. I need y'all to start paying attention to the science of hair. I don't make videos. Anybody who actually watches my videos and listens to me speak without offense, listening to comprehend, not to respond, because most people who come to my channel from somebody else's channel, you're not listening to me to comprehend. You're listening to me to respond to the thing that the person who sent you over to my channel sent you over here for. You come over to my channel with something in mind, like they make you upset, and then you like, yup, I'm about to go over there and tell her about herself because I don't like that either. I don't mind. I'll go and I'll comment. And then you don't listen to the context of what I'm saying. Some of y'all just go to the timestamp of the clip that somebody posted about me, and then you'll respond to that without the whole full nuance of what I was saying. But when you go and you look at the nuance of what I've been saying, I've never been said, oh, curly hair is bad. Anytime somebody comes on my channel and it's like, oh, I think I'm gonna get a relaxer, I always like kind of direct them in a different direction. I'm not anti-relaxer, but a relaxer is not a fix for anything. If you have damaged hair, the last thing you need is a relaxer. If you're coming straight from Team Natural practices, the last thing you should get is a relaxer. You don't, if you go down the relaxer road, and let's say you've been Team Natural for 10 years, I need you to be out of Team Natural for at least 2 years before you even think about doing any chemical services. That goes for color too. So if you had ever taken the time to watch my videos and actually listen to what I'm saying, then that's what you would have heard. Because at the end of the day, there's no such thing as a curly hair specialist. Hair is hair. What are we talking about? The difference between straight hair and curly hair is two things. The size of the follicle, that's the portion of it that's genetic, because the size of your follicle, the size of your follicle and the size of the pore is going to be determined by your genetics. If you are of Asian descent, your follicle is going to be perfectly round. The pore will be perfectly round. If you are of African descent, your follicle or the pore is going to be flatter. And then in the middle, it's like oval shaped if you are Hispanic or Caucasian, right? That is what it'll be. So these are the things that I really need y'all to think about. That's what we learned in school. There was no portion in cosmetology school. It was like, oh, okay, but this is how you cut hair unstretched. No, cutting hair wet was developed by the woman who created diva cuts, period. And white women cut their hair wet. And when they cut their hair wet, then they scrunch their hair with the product to get curls. And when black women start saying, I'm leaving the regular hair salon and I want to do diva cuts and things of that nature, black women was like, you don't gotta leave them. I do it too. I do it too. I do it too. I do it too. We do team natural stuff too. We do it too. We do it too. We do it too. That's what happened. And I don't care what any of y'all have to say about it. Those are facts. Facts. Actual factuals. And if you don't agree, you don't have to. If you don't agree, that's okay. Your agreement is not necessary for the facts to be the facts. It's the truth. And I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I have been saying this shit for over a decade. And every time I say it, it's misinformation. She's spreading misinformation. It's misinformation. So apparently now the things that I've been saying that were misinformation apparently are no longer misinformation, right? But the way that it's going to be worded is going to be very different, you guys. You guys are going to hear very different wording. Nobody's going to say, oh, we were wrong. We shouldn't have done this. We were wrong. We should have stuck to the science. No, you'll just hear little things like, oh, well, my hair is in braids right now. I did go ahead and blow dry my hair and get a trim. Now everybody's about to go back to the science. You know why? Because that's where the consumer is going. At first, everybody was team natural hair products, oils, and butters. Now everybody's looking for bond reconstructors. So even your favorite companies that started all of the team natural products in the first place are creating what? Bond reconstructors. You didn't think it was weird that all of a sudden Shea Moisture has a bond reconstructive treatment? Everybody has one now. Olaplex has been out longer than I've had my cosmetology license, and I'm 34, about to be 35 years old in July of this year. And I got my cosmetology license when I was 19. And Olaplex was out years before that. And before that, every black woman that I saw, opposed to maybe like the last 5 years, prior to the last 5 years, every black woman that I saw said Olaplex was for white girls. And it's not for black hair for the longest. And I still have the videos to prove it. And I'm the screenshot queen. I have so many screenshots because most of y'all have went back and deleted y'all comments. But y'all, these are the things that I want y'all to pay attention to. And what I need you to pay even more attention to, the people who've been making videos about me and people like me, the people who've been rage baiting you and all of that. Over this next year, over these next 365 days, I want y'all to start paying attention. I need you to start paying attention. And I need you to start thinking about all the things that I've been saying over the past decade. And listen to the things that everybody's drawing back and saying now. And then you draw your own conclusion, because in seeing this, it's very clear on why every time I said something, somebody was like, misinformation, misinformation, misinformation. Because for you to believe me, you have to believe that they was lying and playing in your face the whole time and just playing in hair. And I've been saying that since the very beginning. Team Natural people are literally playing in hair. They're playing in hair. We're going to try this. Oh my God. Everybody was saying this, so we decided to change this. Listen, I do not make policy and procedure, or I don't make my practice, because at the end of the day, a cosmetologist is a scientist. And so I'm not about to set a practice or develop my practice based on what my consumers and my customers think, or based on what people are posting on Instagram. If that was the case, I would have joined in on Team Natural a long time ago. My practice remained my practice no matter what. no matter what anybody sell online. But you're going to see multiple videos like this where they're like, I was going to do this in my salon, but then I looked online and I saw you doing this and it inspired me so much. So I decided to do this. Y'all, how would you feel if your OBGYN, because there's OBGYNs and dermatologists and stuff online, how would you feel if you were going to them and you trusted your dermatologist and you went online and they was like, I was going to do the surgery to remove the sebaceous cyst like this, but I love my coworkers and I saw this surgery that you did. You were talking about the surgery. So I decided, because of that reason, even though I've never really practiced it, it looks like it works so good for you. So I'm going to start using this type of scalpel and I'm going to start doing it like this. No. When you open up something and start providing services on clients, when you've opened your practice, you're only providing services when the practice is perfected. The practice is not perfected if you can watch a video online and be like, you know what? It was so right. You shouldn't be doing anything on anybody's hair until you know that you know that you know that you know. Like these new product lines that come out, or like a new system. I remember when I was doing hair, not Nexus, Nioxin. It was Nioxin, and Nioxin had came out with this new treatment or whatever, and it was super dope. And it was for it was like a antifungal treatment, and it was for like dandruff and seborrheic dermatitis and a couple of things like that. No cosmetologist that I know ran and jumped on it. None of them, because cosmetologists understand that you gotta wait at least 6 months, because they're going to be testing things out. They're going to make tweaks and stuff like that, and the consumer is most likely the test dummy. But see, professional products don't really do that. Professional products, they've been in labs testing for a year before they even present it to the market, whereas y'all Team Natural products don't do that. Apple cider vinegar go viral, and 2 months later, almost every Team Natural product line has the apple cider vinegar product. None of the things that y'all have been following in Team Natural have been proven or set on. None of them. It's all been guesswork, But every professional cosmetologist that you go to, for the most part, you walk in, they'll be like, oh, do you use this? Do you use that? And people be like, oh, they have attitudes, or absolutely they do, because they are so sick of the bullshit. All y'all know is what y'all see on YouTube. Y'all are not behind the scenes with us. Y'all don't deal with what professional cosmetologists deal with in the hair salon. And this has always been our truth. Our truth has always been that it started with YouTube, and then certain people in the hair industry decided to jump on the bandwagon with everybody else. So then in the industry, it became professional cosmetologists that stick to the science, and then Team Natural cosmetologists. And it's been like that for a very long time. So now it's up to you, because at the end of the day, it is you, the consumer, that is in control. You. So now I'm not going to tell you like, oh, don't listen to Team Natural. Listen, you listen to whoever you want to listen to. What I'm asking you to do is open your mind. Look at point A and look at point B. And I need you to look at what has been before y'all for the last 12 years. And let's really be real. Let's have some real accountability and some real honesty. And I want to say that I appreciate you, and I take my hat off to every cosmetologist that stands on YouTube and is accountable to their audience, saying, we was just making up shit. I was wrong. Let's follow the science. I'm sorry. That's what all of y'all need to start doing. And until they do, I don't have respect for none of it, because I have been saying this shit and getting attacked for telling the truth for over a decade. So I love y'all. I hope that this video made y'all start opening y'all mind to start really sitting there and thinking about some stuff. I did not make this video to attack anybody. I am not necessarily talking about anybody specifically, because I do not care about anybody that I don't know personally like that. It doesn't have anything to do with that. It's about the science of hair. It is about the industry that I love. It is about the fact that now the main thing that I do on a regular basis is undoing the damage that was caused by the Team Natural community as the Team Natural community runs from their responsibility. So I love y'all so much, and I hope, again, don't nobody take offense to this, but if you do, I will scratch your ass and get glad. Bye.